Welcome to an episode of First Use, and in today's episode I'm going to go through transitional running for Collingwood. And it was in their game against St Kilda. And in particular in the last quarter there was a couple of plays there where St Kilda got to 10 points, within 10 points, and their transitional running. Coaches love transitional running, whether it's away from stop plays or whether it's the ability to get the ball back in your hands. So the ability to go to defense to offense, or the other way around, when the ball is in your hands, offense to defense. Coaches love the transitional running. They love the ability to spread away. And Collingwood was really, really good in this against St Kilda on the weekend. But in particular, in that last quarter, when the game was in the balance, their transitional running away from stoppages was elite. So let's get into the clips now and I'll show you how they're able to do it. So coaches are really big on transition running. So whether it's attack to defense or whether it's defense to attack, they love their transitional running. In this clip here, this is where Dacos gives away a free kick to Winghager. This is side bottom. Coaches also will always, particularly in the AFL, but at any level, they should be teaching the umpire's made a decision. He's not going to change his decision. You've got to go to defense. If it doesn't go your way, you've got to then react and go into defensive mode. And I love this transitional running from side bottom. So the free kick. So, yep, you can put in an argument. At the end of the day, you've got to go. Right? The opposition's got the ball. Here he is here. He's gone one-on-one. So this is his starting point. So the ability to turn your head, know that you haven't got the ball, but then be able to go on the goal side and set up defensively. So experience, obviously, but very quick reaction time. Goal side of his opponent. So the ball gets kicked inside St Kilda's forward line, and there's a dispute. There's a 50-50 contest. This is the ability to understand where you're positioned. So your goal side, you know where your man is, which is in this case where side bottom is, but you've also got to be wary that he can't impact this contest. So what can he impact? He can impact in the ability of being goal side of his man. So the ball bums out, and then St Kilda wins it. Now this is where you go from, you understand where your man is, but then you creep down to make sure, and this is inside forward 50 for St Kilda. So this is great awareness from side bottom. I love this transitional running. Bang. So he's got his man, his goal side, but then he identifies that this is the space that St Kilda want to kick into. Marks it. A really great awareness there. The ability to know he was on the wing at that stage when Dacos gives away the free kick, but then he goes. Umpire's not going to change his decision, gets directly on goal side of his direct opponent, and then the ability to work off and identify where the space is inside forward 50 for St Kilda. So this is when Lipinski kicks his goal, and what I love about this is the ability to so it's a 50-50 contest, but he pushes up in line. It's almost like gets in line with rugby. He doesn't want to be offside, but he gets in line in the vision of his teammates. So they kick it inside forward 50, and it sort of bubbles around a little bit here. So this is the part where it's a 50-50. You've got to understand, we're a chance to win it, but they're also a chance to win it. So where's my surroundings? What am I doing? St Kilda get it, but then now it's in dispute again. But this is Lipinski. He worked in this way, but now he's worked back in a position to be lateral to the contest. Really, really important that he does that. You need to be lateral because then you identify this is probably a loose that they can use, so you can push up to be defend. Or if it's a 50-50 contest here, if Collingwood win it, then I'm in a position, because I'm still lateral to the contest, to be a handball receive. Now they win it. Now look at him. Perfect position. Handball release. And now he's in a position to be a handball receive. Lateral. Love that. Handball. Goal. So really good awareness. Good awareness to push up the transitional running. But The importance of this is the ability to see what's happening. You know you can't impact that contest that's on the boundary, but you can impact the next layer. So once again, great awareness here from side bottom. So yeah, he could be in a position to be a handball release here, but my check turns back into contest. So now it goes from ability to have the ball, but then potentially could go to a turnover or 50-50. So now it's in dispute. So as you see we're here, that's where he is. But when it goes in dispute, when I show you the next clip, he's actually pushed back into the corridor. So as I've explained previously on what Collingwood love to do, they love to suffocate the corridor. They'll give you the option to go on the boundary line, but they come back in. So watch this next clip of what side bottom does. So St Kilda's won the ball, but look where side bottom's gone. He was actually in this position here. He's pegged back into the corridor. So this is what I love. So this is squashing up and being balanced, but I love what Josh Dacos does in this situation. He might get highlighted at Collingwood and when they do their review, but the media won't pick up on this, but this is what causes this turnover. And I love, this is the transition I'm talking about. Attack to defence, and then you go back into attack. So St Kilda come back into the corridor, give a hand pass, but watch what Josh Dacos does here, which is really, really important because it allows side bottom and Crisp to come in and get the holding the ball. He checks him. So once he gives the hand pass off, if he doesn't check him, there's a 1-2, and then they're out. But because Josh Dacos comes off and checks him, he checks the handball giver, if you want to call it. He checks him, so there's no 1-2. Now, what this allows is these players to chase from behind, which is what Collingwood's really good at, and they cause a turnover. So then side bottom's able to give tackle, and now is holding the ball. So really awesome play. And then in this next play, this is when side bottom goes, he spreads, again, transition. They kick the ball to him, he kicks inside forward 50, and they kick another goal. So Pendlebury's sitting as a sweeper. So watch his transitional running, which is really, really impressive. So the ball bubbles around, puts on the smother. Awesome work. So they're out then, but he creates the smother. Ball bubbles around. Right, now they've got the ball. The transitional running from Josh Dacos is awesome. So the ability to cut on the 45, ability to link up and play, and they spoke about it in the coverage about how far he was getting up. Ability to spread the forwards and be an option up the field. So they win the ball back, and then they're spreading over here. So they've done a switch of play. But look at this, offensive running from Josh Dacos, and then Pendlebury comes into it later. So the ball gets kicked out to the side to Hoskin Elliott. Josh Dacos still running. So running on that 45, creating space behind him to come into. Pendlebury still here. And the good thing about this is he's in line. So laterally, they're both in line. So Josh Dacos can see there's an opportunity in space to go into that area. But the importance of Pendlebury to always be lateral to where the ball is. Ability to be in line and to move down with the ball. Josh Dacos coming into that space. So he hit up that lead. Pendlebury is still lateral to the contest. So Josh is looking, bang, there he is, comes into that space. St Kilda have gone back with all their numbers, hit up lead, bang. Great spotting, great awareness, so spread, so the ability for Scott Pendlebury to lay the smother, turnover, and for Josh Dacos, for him to get involved in transition, really smart play. This ends up in a goal. So Collingwood went down to the centre and Wilkie takes the mark. Now this is the ability to have understanding of the ball's on the other side of the ground, but clubs love to switch the ball. And this is great awareness by both McStay and also Bobby Hill. So they switch the play. So St Kilda switch the play into the middle. They're trying to go over the other side, so they eliminate all these defenders. But once they switch it, they go 2 on 2. So there's McStay and there's Bobby Hill. Really good balance. The reason why I want to point this out is because they're squashing up the corridor, both these forwards, both McStay and Bobby Hill. They squash up their forward, that V shape that I've explained in the past. But then the ability to then go laterally once oppositions switch the ball. And the awareness of Bobby Hill to identify that McStay is going on a one-on-one to create the balance. And I've mentioned this in previous videos before, and people have always asked, what's balance around the contest? This is exactly that, and I've shown clips of Melbourne as well. Bobby Hill retreats. He knows that there's another player here, which is right behind the goalpost here. But he's giving trust in the ability of McStay to go as a one-on-one, to create that opportunity for him to go at it so he doesn't get sucked into the contest. If Bobby Hill goes into the contest, Malera then hand passes and then they're out. They've got all this space to go into. But Bobby Hill stays and creates the turnover. So great chase down tackle here from McStay, but the transitional running to then have balance in this situation is awesome. And they create a boundary throw-in. So awesome play, the ability to turn their head and then get, but have the balance there, and great work by Bobby Hill. This is great. This is a really good example of transitional running. Transition from attack to defense, back to attack, and how quickly it happens. So Nick Dacos wins it, and there's Hoskin Elliott already on the 45. So great awareness to actually hit this and be able to go once he knows that they've got possession. So they hit out in the space. Hoskin Elliott's gone. Kicks it down the line, turnover. So now you've got the ball, you're spreading as Collingwood are, transition, but now ball's back in so what are you doing to set up? So St Kilda come back through the middle. Right? And now they're about to give a hand pass. Here. Nick Dacos reads this extremely well. Turnover again. So now we're back into transition. 1, 2, 3, going this way. Right. So this is the ability to go from attack to defense to attack to defense, back and forth. How quickly it happens. Nick Dacos takes off. He's got men with him going inside forward 50. I want you to take particular interest on Myercheck, who I think is one of the most. He is such a workhorse for Collingwood. He's and you'll see another clip here where just his work ethic is just unbelievable. It's late in the last quarter, and his ability to work so hard in transition. So that's him there. Josh Dacos is going inside forward 50. So you think, yep, he's going to hit a target. Really good with his skills. This is still Myercheck here. So it goes inside forward 50, and you think that Nick Dacos is going to hit someone lace out, but it's a turnover. So what do you? So when this is a great example of transitional running, attack to defense, attack. Now they're in defensive mode. It happens so quickly, but you've always got to be turning your head and figuring out where the dangerous player is. So because it's come in this side of the ground, Saints now want to switch it, and most clubs do this. But look at this work ethic. He is bolted down to become an option. Then there's a turnover. Turned his head. Awesome work. Takes a mark as a shot on goal. I just love that. Clap to Myercheck. That is brilliant work ethic, and the ability to go from attack to defense. If you're watching the game to see his work ethic, it was just going back and forth. It's hard you can see and appreciate it, how hard he works. So late, and St Kilda's coming. So this is late, halfway through the last quarter, and this is Nick Dacos here. So it's the understanding of the moments, and this is one example, and then the next example is from Myercheck. The ability to actually see where the turnover is and then just go take a risk, especially when you're on a tagger. It's a risk reward. Sometimes it can work in your favour. And this particular occasion, he just takes off, and it's great awareness. So the ball bobbles around. You think that St Kilda is going to win it on the half-back line. Step in Lipinski. Now it's a turnover. So you've gone from for a defence. Now you're in attack mode. But this is how quickly Nick Dacos sums this up. So it's not the best kick inside forward 50, but look at the separation that Nick has already got on Windhager. So Billy, just go. Just take a risk and go. He's tagging you. You can dictate terms a little bit, and this is what he does, and this is the maturity of Nick Dacos and how advanced his game has elevated to when he gets these tags. There he is. Handball receive, and we know that he kicks that goal. So the ability to work from other side of the ground, transitional running across the other side, but just go and take a risk. Now this is the last clip, and this is deep inside St Kilda's forward 50. Obviously a stop play is a ball up. This is great running from Myercheck. All involved as well, the transitional running from the stop play, but this is a perfect example that sums up the transition, and this is why they're able to win the game, these key moments in the last quarter. This is Myercheck here. Dacos comes at the ball, awesome work. So he's gone deep as a forward. Still spreading. That's Membry, Dacos, and Elliott was the one that kicked it down, that little bit of a dribble kick. Myercheck is still going forward. Great awareness there from Membry to understand that someone's in their vision. Plenty of talk, no doubt, from Nick Dacos, but he eliminates that defender. Really good, smart play. Lowers his eyes, and guess who's on the end of it? Myercheck. He's ran, 150 metres to get that, and hard running. To allow that chip up, goes back, kicks the goal, seals the game. So they're transitional running away from stop plays. They're transitional running when they don't have the ball, where it goes into they get possession. Spreading on the 45, the ability to be lateral, the ability to work for each other, the ability to, when the ball's not on your area, to be goal side and then work off their opponent. It was awesome display by Collingwood, and they've been doing that all year, but I really wanted to highlight the fact that coaches love transitional running, and as you can see with those clips, how important that transitional running is. It might not come off, but if you can spread the length, like that last clip with Myercheck, if you can spread the field and be an option, you just let your teammates do the work, but it creates an option up the field. So awesome work there from the Collingwood Football Club.